The gentlelady from Tennessee is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and it is now my honor to yield 2 minutes to the gentleman that is the Vice Chair of the Budget Committee, Mr. Rokita.
The gentleman is recognized for 2 minutes.
I thank the Chair and I thank the Chairwoman and I thank all the members of the Budget Committee who voted for this budget, and now it's on the floor, and I encourage all members of the House to vote in favor of this budget. And that's because our national debt continues to grow exponentially every day, every hour, every minute, and every second. We cannot afford to have any more time waiting to address the spending crisis that we're in. Now, this budget begins to put these irresponsible elitist policies behind us and creates a culture around here that makes sure that our friends and neighbors who really need the help get the help without forcing our nation's bills on our children and grandchildren, future generations, some of whom don't even exist yet. Specifically, this budget reforms mandatory spending so it's focused on those, Mr. Chairman, in our communities who really need help. This will ensure that our country will focus limited resources on those who are most vulnerable while encouraging a culture of self-reliance instead of government dependence. We should be measuring, Mr. Chairman, success of these programs and how many people we get off them, not how many people we trap in them. You know, Mr. Chairman, as the chart I'm holding shows, because mandatory spending is over 2/3 of our total annual spending, reforming this part of our spending is the only way to really get our debt and deficits down. And this budget, for the first time, starts addressing this part of the pie, $203 billion worth, and that's because of the leadership here and Republicans in the House of Representatives. Now, this budget also protects our friends and neighbors by making sure our families are safe, that the military has the tools that they need, and that the administration has the money it needs to secure our border. This budget also jumpstarts tax reform, which will put money back in the pockets of hardworking Hoosiers and all Americans. Mr. Chairman, in closing, as President Ronald Reagan once said, we, quote, "We don't have $1 trillion debt because we haven't taxed enough. We have $1 trillion debt because we spend too much." And that is still true today, Mr. Chairman, except that $1 trillion is now $20 trillion and growing. Again, I encourage all my colleagues to vote in favor of this budget, and I yield back.
The gentleman's time has expired. The lady from